I just wanted to see the pictures again. Hello, ladies and
Hmm.
gentlemen. Hello, world. You can tell it's us by the flames. This is not a Mandalorian thing, even though May the 4th has just passed. It is us here, Saturday night, Wrestlemaniacs, through the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, coming to you with the Quiet Storm at 11:35 p.m. The Nubian Sumo with his Oath whiskey, the People Choice with no whiskey. No, he's unsheathing it and everything. Look at him. Oh man, I thought it would have been brand new. You know, already hit it a little bit. Go ahead, tell
And I
us about
mean,
it. Give us some
it's
background.
it's about 2 years old. This is the Blood Oath Pack 7. Pack 8 came out last year. Pack 9 is coming out here soon within the next few months. And I actually just opened this last week, so it is fairly new. I just put this much in a flask and took it to a party I went to last a couple of weeks ago. So I haven't really drank this. So it is, for all intents and purposes, a brand new bottle.
Oh, so go ahead, get your first taste. See how smooth it is. What's the proof?
This is a 96.
Mm, mm, mm. That's a light drink for you then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's now that is a damn tasty beverage.
Well, if you want to support Blood Oath for the Quiet Storm, then make sure you do that, courtesy of the recommendation from the Nubian Sumo. What you smoking on? Tell them what you're combining that with, so that way they can get everything all nice and groovy.
Tonight I'm being powered by the Caldwell Long Live the Queen. And I pulled this out for my girl Zelina Vega tonight.
Hmm.
She had a little bit going on tonight, so little emotional tonight for her.
A
So I
little
just a little bit. And of course, I had to pull out
for the 20. Was it the 10-year anniversary? Right?
the
Or
10
the
year
20th?
anniversary back on the
Mhm.
third Bullet Club.
So you representing all across the board.
Oh yeah,
So
there's a
obviously,
method to my madness.
since we're coming to you late, it's got to be about a pay-per-view. And tonight's pay-per-view, I don't know. When we did, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We discussed how really nobody was looking forward to this pay-per-view at all.
I
And
sure
now
wasn't.
that it's happened, I'm not too mad at it.
I'm not either. I was actually
Right.
entertained up until a certain point in time during that premium live event.
Oh Lord, I don't know why you keep calling it that.
That's what they call it
Yeah, I know. But I don't know why you keep calling it that.
because it's funny to me.
Well, pretty soon it'll be back to pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, we'll see, and they'll probably still call it a premium live event.
Hmm. Premium pay-per-view event at $60 a pop. Taking it back to the old school, and I have to break out my aluminum foil, figure out how I'm a pirate that mess. But either way, tonight was back last night. So I think, like we said, it's actually, well, you may have a bad spot. I really don't. There was a couple little bit of a slow storytelling moments, but Puerto Rico showed up. It was a hot crowd. It was a hot crowd for SmackDown, and tonight it was even hotter. Those that was over were over, and those that in that region you wouldn't think would be over were over. And we'll start with that because Bianca Belair versus Io Shirai, aka Io Sky. Io, I thought they were going to make a change or something. The way the crowd was popping off of everything she was doing. I was like, man, she's finally getting the just due. Unfortunately, it's only in one place.
But you got to realize, and one of my boys helped me realize this. They Puerto Rico don't really like the United States that much. I mean, so it was kind of a precursor as to how the whole show was going to go because they were actually booing Bianca Belair.
Yep.
So and giving EO support like they were. So I was looking forward to seeing how that was going to juxtapose through the whole show. It didn't necessarily do that, but I was just interested. I was just like, man, they booing Bianca? Wow. And for her not to, even though there were little shades of her maybe healing a little bit, just in the facials and some of the move and some of her move set. I thought she was going to go there, but she didn't.
Yeah, I think
It
they told
probably
her
would
she had to stay true.
see if she see a little bit of a heelish Bianca Belair in that moment, but she didn't give it to us. Yeah, that
No,
was kind of disappointing.
I'd say that this match was actually one of my contenders for match of the night. And what really did it for me was the fact that normally, like if Bianca is facing somebody smaller than her in stature and power, then she's got to play down. But she didn't have to play down with Io. They actually let Io wrestle, and Io was able to balance out, in my opinion, the size difference to make it to where Bianca didn't have to work hard at not being strong. And I really appreciated that up until the finish. Um, I know that they're probably going somewhere and they're going to have to shake this damage control thing. But I mean, Io did a phenomenal job. Bianca did her normal, but Io looked like NXT. It looked like Io Shirai. It looked like
Yeah,
somebody that could
she did.
get the championship title tonight.
Yeah, she
Um,
did. She did a good job tonight. No, that was like you said, that was NXT Io Shirai. That was not Io Sky. So
yep.
yeah,
Only thing that
yeah,
was
I
missing from that was Mauro
that
Ranallo.
that premium live event off.
Yeah, yeah. If Mauro was there calling her the genius of the sky, I think that would have really put everything together. Which fortunately, I wish they could have brought him back in, but he probably doesn't want anything to do with the WWE at this point. But to set the tone for the night, like you said, with Puerto Rico versus the U.S., quote unquote, on the back end, but more so, to really get the crowd hyped up and revved up. That was a smart decision to put them first. We'll see what happens because the draft is done, so everybody is still on SmackDown that was in that match or involved in that match, to include the Raw Women's Championship itself. So we're going to have to see if there is going to be a title exchange like we had before, or if USA and Fox are going to negotiate and they're just going to put Rhea on SmackDown and put Bianca back to Raw. Don't think that would happen though, considering that the Street Profits are on SmackDown as well, so they typically don't break up, family structures like that. But
And that will
Triple
bring
H
up
is
the Judgment Day too, because the Judgment Day ain't gonna be ain't nothing is nothing without Rhea Ripley
well.
at this point.
There's rumors that there's going to be a new member. So if Rhea's out because she goes there, then there's room to bring somebody else in. I'd put my money on Nia Jax, but who knows?
Actually, talking about another dude, I heard it was gonna be JD McDonough.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. That's what I was reading.
I'm not feeling it. I mean, it took long enough for me to buy in a Dominic being in it. So Him by himself in the UK was okay, but I don't know. I can't. I would actually, if I had to put somebody in, I'd put Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, that's another rumor that was going around.
Just because I think that he could really excel. Him and Finn Balor could have some phenomenal tag matches. That gives Dominic the opportunity to, just to be outside in the ring, still continue to learn. Damian Priest could do his thing, and it just gives them another balance because there's still, this Edge situation, which I don't agree with Edge being drafted. I don't agree with Trish Stratus being drafted. For what? Brock
Right.
Lesnar, I get, but what are we doing with them? So I expect Edge. His final match of his career is going to involve the Judgment Day. So we still got to play that up, and I guess that's where Damian Priest and Dominic will come into play, or that could be the precursor, Dominic versus Edge, to lead towards Dom versus Rey Mysterio for whatever the retirement situation is going to be at WrestleMania. But who knows? Either way, match one, phenomenal. Then they rolled into Seth Rollins versus Omos. Like we talked about before, wasn't really looking forward to it. Seth, I would say, will be the exception to the rule when it comes down to them at Puerto Rico really being anti-U.S. because Seth was over. Period. They were behind him 1,000,000%.
Well, Seth is Latino.
Well,
You do.
yeah, but yeah, in his 23andMe discussions,
Yeah, he is Latino. So his shoot last name is Lopez.
yeah.
So yeah,
And
so
Omos is
they
foreign as well. He's Nigerian. So, I
all
mean,
toward him.
you really don't have a bad person there. But if there was going to be somebody repping the U.S., even Seth freaking Rollins. I did like, and I looked at the wife and I said, they gave the entrance that he should have got at WrestleMania. So I was thinking about you when they turned the lights off and the crowd was just singing. That's what we should have had at Mania. And
Right.
Omar did the right thing to build the heat by stopping it. So good start to the match. I don't think Omos looked bad. I think the match ended the way it needed to with the super stomp. It was a smart finish. It didn't diminish Omos per se, and he didn't stretch it out too long to where it becomes like, all right, Omos, just go ahead and pin him, you know, because Seth has gone through everything. The false finishes were good and intelligent placed, or intelligently placed. So I had no issues with the match. But I will say, Omos has, they have to, either he's going to be a giant or he's not going to be a giant. Something has to happen to where his career has to go forward because he's putting too many people over for his size.
Well, making him a free agent, he's going to continue doing that. I mean, there's no reason to do. What would be the reason to make him a free agent if he's not going to go back and forth and be that guy? Because I also read somewhere else that WWE is going to start implementing jobbers again
Well, they got to
and
do
having
something.
talent. So I mean, if you think about a lot outside of Brock Lesnar, think about a lot of those guys that they and girls that they made free agents. Look at that list and see who stands out as somebody who other than Dolph Ziggler. Look at somebody who actually stands out that would not be enhancement talent.
Right. I'm with you on that. But I'm just saying, he's an established big man. He's learning, he's cutting his teeth, getting his credentials together for everything. And I think he's doing a phenomenal job. But he's losing too much. The Bobby
Well,
Lashley, Brock
I mean,
Lesnar's.
this is pretty much going to be WWE's version of like being in the dojo. He's learning from scratch. So he's got to take his lumps. He's got to pay his dues, so to speak.
I
So
think
he's
he's
going
paid
to
the
get
dues
some
long enough.
matches. They're going to give him some matches here and there. They're going to give him some wins here and there. They may give him some squash matches, but as far as any big name matches and him, getting over like that, they'll probably give him a title at some point, and that'll be his big win. But I see him losing for a while, just until he can get his legs up under him on his own.
I think he needs to work a program with Gunther.
Why, to get killed?
Yeah, if you're gonna make him, let's really put him through his paces. A program with Sheamus, a program, heavy program with Drew McIntyre, some hard hitting, smash mouth,
That is six around.
catch can, and really get him in there. Because
they're going to give him different styles of wrestling, give him different guys to work with. So I mean, yeah, it's gonna eventually happen. It's gonna those guys. Like I said, if Drew
he's not ready, but that's what I'm saying. If we need to put him through the fire, because I see the potential of what he could be, because he's much more athletic than the Big Show and Andre. He's the biggest attraction that they have.
Andre in America.
Say it again.
Andre in America.
Oh yeah.
Andre was throwing drop kicks and coming off the top rope in Japan. So,
yeah. But I mean, Omos is slimmer. He's a lot more mobile. He could do more within his range. I would like to see him do more with a purpose, but not do more. He doesn't need to drop kick, but we've come a long way from "this is my house," and that's all he's saying in the ring. We've come a long way. I just want to see him do more and be more. But unfortunately, we lost the Hurt Business 2.0. But I'd say maybe 12 months from now, he could be the new world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, like I said, he's eventually going to win a belt, like the United States title or something like that. But yeah, just give him time. He's going through his paces. I'm not mad at where they have him right now. Like I said, he's in a learning process. He's the young boy at this point. He's got the right person behind him with MVP. To show him the ropes. Tell him what to give him some guidance and tell him what to do. So yeah, he's in the right place. No, I don't know about him carrying him his bags. MVP ain't carrying no bags.
He carrying some bags.
He carrying his own bags. Anything, he probably making Omos carry his bags.
That's what I'm saying. Omos. I'm talking about Omos is carrying some bags.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, MVP ain't carrying no bags.
No. Omos is definitely the young boy, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me being impatient, because I just don't want it to get too far down the line to where everybody of substance has beat him, and then he become Big Show, and then
I don't blame you for your evaluation, because you're a more WWE than you are maybe NWA or WCW. Like, you're used to the Giant Gonzalez's and the Great Khali's getting main event status right away because of their size, because that's Vince. That's what you use
as well.
That didn't necessarily happen with Big Show.
Didn't have that many.
But that did when Big Show came, when the Giant, who we now know as Big Show, came into WCW. He had a major impact when he came in. But look what they did with him. They put him under the NWO and had him build up from that. So, they took their time with him before they put him in a main event status. They didn't just throw him in and give him the world championship right away.
No, I'm not talking about that, but I think you got to remember, we're like, 3 years in with Omos? Paul White had maybe a year and a half. Yeah, maybe a year and a half that he was making
underground crap.
Well, in that case, where the hell is Dabba-Kato at? That was my pick.
He needs to go somewhere and learn to fight instead of hitting somebody in the balls. That's what that is. That's what he is.
Shane told him to do that. That's all that was. But speaking of speaking of low expectations, I wasn't happy with the fact that this match was on the card. It was actually an okay match, just because I'm a fan of Bronson Reed, I'm a fan of Bobby Lashley, but we all knew a triple threat situation. Austin Theory is walking out with the championship, so that there was no ifs, ands, buts, or explanation. You knew that was going to be the result. Now, where they're going with this Austin Theory reign is yet to be seen because he can't run forever. The question is, is it going to be Bobby or is it going to be somebody else that's going to take the belt off of him? Now, I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby just bypass him altogether now that the official reset is happening through the draft, and Bobby goes straight after Roman. But
which is going to happen.
Roman's going to be Bobby. Right. Roman's going to be Bobby, and then we're back to the situation. So the question is, would you rather Bobby beat Theory, have a championship, and properly go after Roman as, the number one contender because he is the U.S. champion? Or would you rather him just say the heck with Theory and go straight after Roman and lose?
Well, you got to put Bobby in the title picture right away because who else do you have in SmackDown right now that's ready? You don't really have too many guys. I mean, you got Sheamus, you got I think McIntyre is in there, is in SmackDown. And McIntyre, to his contract situation, he may be out by November.
I wouldn't be mad at Sheamus.
No, I wouldn't be mad at Sheamus either, even though I still want to see him with the Intercontinental belt, and I still want to see him going after Gunther, but they're split up now, so that's not going to happen. So he's got to be in the title picture, just to have somebody in there to go up against Roman. But yeah, the pickings are slim over on SmackDown as far as the title picture. I'm just interested knowing that SmackDown, whoever represents SmackDown, is not going to win this new World Championship. But I'm just interested to see who they're going to throw in this tournament. Just to see, because who is going to be your number one contenders for Roman.
Right. I don't understand why this tournament is happening on SmackDown for a Raw Championship.
Just to put some in it, because like they said, whoever wins the title is exclusive to Raw. So whoever wins it, if they're on SmackDown, they're probably going to make some kind of trade or just send them over right straight out.
But so, then also, if you're going to create that loophole, then you've also created the possibility for Roman to be in the tournament.
Yeah,
think about it.
I'm not going to put him in there.
Why would Triple H bring about Paul Heyman and say, "Let me show you something"? Why would Paul Heyman in his promo put it out there into the ether that, hey, wouldn't it be interesting if Roman won this championship? And now magically the championship for Raw is having a tournament, and the tournament is happening through SmackDown. Makes no sense. And it's culminating in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions. Wow, wouldn't that be interesting?
It throws a wrinkle of doubt into it, because if Roman Reigns winds up winning the tournament and wins the championship, does that make him a free agent?
No. You have Cody versus Roman 2.
Right, but if Roman wins the World Championship,
Cody goes over
because he's got 2 belts to contend with.
No, I'm saying Cody does it. Cody goes over, and Roman's like, "You ain't beat me for these." So Roman's protected, and Cody's got his championship.
Yeah, but I don't see them doing that though. I don't see that. I can see that happening. It wouldn't weaken Roman to do that, like you said, but I don't see them doing that.
That would be a Vincent Kennedy and a McMahon decision.
Either Roman is going to be in it to win it, or he's not going to be in it at all, because it would make no sense for him to lose to Cody.
Well,
It
it
kind
would
of defeats
it would be
it
safe to
defeats the
lose to
purpose
Cody.
of him. It defeats the purpose almost to have Cody go up against Roman because this is like a secondary title almost,
But if The Rock is still in play for Roman,
which he's
then
probably
Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania can't happen because they got to play the long game. Think about it with Sting and Triple H. Sting could have went over if they weren't trying to book The Rock, which fell through. So how do you appease the people that are pissed off with Cody not winning? You let him beat Roman for a championship that Roman doesn't have. So all Roman's got to show up on SmackDown and say, "Hey, this dude beat me, but he didn't beat me. He didn't take my belts. He took some belt they created because he couldn't beat me."
like you said.
Food for thought. Now
I
this is
mean, I
an
mean,
interesting
it's,
situation
it's,
too.
it's possible. It's possible either way. There's so many ways they could run this.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean that's a definite possibility.
Now this is
So, yeah,
another option for Raj, but I think that they're going to probably keep Gunther and Roman separate for a while.
yeah, that's money.
Yeah. If they go up
That's
against each other, that's got to be a choice passing at the Royal Rumble. If they're both in the Rumble or something like that, to where they'll have an exchange or something, or maybe at Night of Champions they'll bump into each other in a segment. But yeah, if we rush that too early, then we'll lose out on something. But Gunther versus Rollins in the tournament would be an interesting situation. And then Roman walks by them in a backstage segment as they're staring off after an interview moment. That gets them all in the same image for the camera without rushing things too much. But they're going to fight. They're going to have to.
oh yeah, it's
Especially,
eventually going to get down to Gunther being in title contention.
yeah, they created a nice little package for Gunther and Imperium. So they've got some plans. So we'll see exactly where Trips wants to go with that. But like I said, the match of the night was the Bobby Austin Theory and Bronson Reed match, just because it wasn't any beyond expectation. It was what it was. Nobody
Yeah,
looked bad.
it was
Finish
a
was.
match. It was a
Yep.
filler match. There was no
Now,
really there was no real story behind it. I mean, you had Bronson Reed who wanted to be in contention for the title. You had Bobby Lashley who's been in contention. They two been going at it. Uh, they wanted to put Austin Theory on the card somewhere. So it's just pretty much a filler match.
yep.
It is what it is.
Now, technically, if we know WWE like we know WWE, Bianca beat Io, so the face won. Seth beat Omos, face won. We take out the triple threat. Um, then that means by all rights, Zelina cannot beat Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So again, that was one that we knew how that was going to end up just by how they started the night.
Well, I mean, you had not even going there with it.
I'm just taking it from the basic
You're
context
you're
clues.
you're in Puerto Rico. You're going to highlight your Latinx wrestlers. Who else in the women's roster other than Bailey, who has Latino blood in her?
Mm-hmm.
Who else are you going to have that's going to fill that spot in Puerto Rico?
Right. Oh no.
You could.
I mean,
The only other person other than Bailey would have been Shotzi, and she's Filipino, so
right.
that wouldn't have worked.
No.
Raquel Gonzalez, but she's not even in the title picture. She's got the tag. She got the women's tag belts.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
who else?
Liv
Who else?
Morgan tag along.
Yeah. Plus that brings in the LWO aspect of it, which we'll get to later. And then, it was just an automatic choice for her, for her to be in that spot.
But I
knowing
mean,
she wasn't,
so
knowing she
there,
wasn't going to win, but like I said earlier, which is why I brought out All Hail the Queen. You know, she is the queen of the ring, so you know.
yeah.
So I
Unless
mean,
you
yeah, give
considering
that
that they just
spot,
quietly got
give
rid of
the
it.
moment, let her family be at ringside, and hey, did I not say the chocolate will be over? Did I not say the chocolate would be over? If Ray had done that to Dominic at WrestleMania in Texas,
Hmm.
would have got that pop
Yep.
instead of the belt. Because she stood there for how long? Just standing there with the thing over her head and the whole place popped.
She
And
should have
she
hit her
didn't even
with it instead of throwing it at her, though.
get into the ring and started popping her around with it.
Yep.
They
That,
still didn't use it right.
I know that's the moment. But considering how thin it was, she did hit her, so I'll give her credit. That was a dead eye throw. That's in the genes right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's in the genes. She made that shot quick. So shout outs also to Rhea for selling it. So good match. No issues with that. Congratulations to Zelina. Even though she lost, she won. Because that's probably bigger than anything else that she could have done in Impact or in NXT or WWE or the Indies. I mean that's a once in a lifetime situation. So
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, to think that, you know, I was watching her probably 10 years ago in Impact
hmm
Wrestling TNA as Rosita,
yep,
just starting a career out, and I was like, what would Zelina Vega say now to Rosita back then? It's going something like this is going to happen. Don't worry, just keep doing
yep.
what you're doing.
Keep your
That
chin up
type.
and keep going. Yep.
Because she went through some hard times back in Impact Wrestling, and once she left Impact, she was kind of in a dark place for a while, and then she ended up in WWE, in NXT and whatnot, and kind of built her
Yep.
way up. But yeah, I was just thinking, as she was in the ring getting her accolades at the end and everything. I was kind of thinking about that. But yeah, good
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
That's
She
that's
can literally
every
retire off of that.
every wrestler should be able to get a moment like that. I think.
Yeah. It's concerning that you go out on your back to have a moment where you get your flowers at that level, representing your culture. You can't beat that. So
At
good on
home, family. The only thing that was missing was Alistair Black being in the audience, and I'm sure he was probably there somewhere.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was there. I guarantee you he was there. The House of Black was represented because we know Buddy Murphy was probably there too. So at least two parts of the House of Black was there for sure. But we went from that, kept the Latin thing going to Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in a street fight. So again,
Match of the night
I
should have
agree.
been should have been last match of the night. Should have been main event, in my opinion.
I agree.
And
I was expected to be main event, consider that Bad
well,
Bunny,
they considered it a double main event, and that was supposed to be one of them.
right? But
So
we knew
double
how
main.
Cody's thing was going to go.
But they put this match on third to last. They put a match in between that one and the main event. So I don't understand that. That's the first time I've seen that. But yeah, this was match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Took a little bit to build up to the street fight thing, but again, I understand it because you want to illustrate and show how Bad Bunny can wrestle, how he's not just coming in to be the celebrity and do a couple boom boom booms and then a kendo stick 1 2 3 or some interference in a 1 2 3. How he's actually going to go through a match, and then within that match you're going to have the storytelling of it being a street fight. So all of the typical elements as expected was there. We knew we were going to see Rey Mysterio. We knew we were going to see Dom and Finn Balor. It was nice to see Savio Vega get his flowers. It was even better to see Carlito. That was cool. Get involved. It was good with the LWO, Santos Escobar, the rest of the crew. I mean, overall, this was actually what the Sting Triple H match should have been at WrestleMania when everybody came out.
Right.
In my opinion, this is
I
what it
agree.
should. But my question to you is it too little too late, or does it make sense to do the LWO now? Factoring in Chavo saying, hey, almost saying, hey, get my uncle's name out your mouth. How was he
Yeah,
tired of people glorifying Eddie?
he kind of backed off on that, saying that he did that kind of in character. Why he would even say that? I think he did that to get attention,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you can say
But
to somebody else, but don't say that to Rey Mysterio. Because, if it's somebody that didn't know Eddie, but you come on now, Ray and Eddie, from the beginning. He's giving props up to that legacy when there's nobody in the business right now wrestling for the legacy at that level.
I think they did the LWO thing more so for this, and knowing that they may be doing more shows in Puerto Rico because they are trying to get us a WrestleMania in Puerto Rico at some point. They
Yeah,
say I've been told, I've been reading. So I don't know how much longer the LWO thing is going to last. The fact that they actually made it so that Carlito and Savio Vega are members. I like the fact how they made it look like they put Savio Vega in the Bad Luck Fale position and Bullet Club, kind of made him
yeah,
like the underboss. He was kind of throwing people, telling people what to do and throwing people around. You know
give
what I'm
him a
saying?
nod. Yeah,
Go ahead, go get him. And he didn't have to do too much. I like that part. Um, it's just going to be able to bring other Latinx wrestlers into it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Chavo come back and be involved at some point.
as Big Boss.
Who would do it? I wouldn't be
Yep.
surprised.
Well,
If they take it down to Mexico, involve like somebody like L.A. Park or somebody that might be one, but might be especially with this thing they got going on with WCW and the figures and the toys that they're putting out now. So try to bring a WCW aspect into it.
yeah.
Uh,
Or Conan. Conan could
Conan,
be the head of it.
bring Conan back.
Yeah.
Especially with his relationship with Ray. It's a lot of possibilities with it. I'm hoping that they keep it around for a while, just to see what they want, just to see what they do with it, because I'm kind of interested now that they brought in Carlito and Savio. But just those have those guest appearances like that. It just makes it interesting. You can
Yeah.
keep the core five, but and have them do their thing on a everyday basis. But to have just somebody come in and just be LWO just to be LWO for a show or two, it's cute. I like it.
Yeah. And also, for a down the road situation, this gives an avenue for Dominic and redemption. Because once he breaks from Judgment Day, he's got a place to go that he can nestle into, and the same kind of role, and build back the massive heat that he had in Puerto Rico during that press conference, and actually convert that into people liking him. So he gets the T-shirt, and we've talked about it before how he can end up saving his dad and things like that, kind of like what we just saw with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and really getting back to exactly where it needs to go. But in the meantime, he can have matches with different LWO members, that are brought in from different places and stuff like that, to be able to show that he can wrestle the lucha style, or to give him something to do that still ties into the storyline, and then gives us those two at WrestleMania for whatever the payoff is going to be for this 2 year storyline for the long term booking.
Or or or
Okay.
or they set up a storyline where Rey Mysterio says, "Okay, I'm going to have a match with you, but if you lose, you have to join the LWO." And then Dominic winds up losing, joins the LWO, and then does like the Rock did with the Nation.
Yep.
It's kind of you see that tension between him and Ray, like you did with the Rock and Farouk.
Yep.
You know, trying to become who's going to be the leader of the LWO now. You know, that type thing.
Yeah.
It keeps Dominic's heat. You know, and then eventually that'll turn into the retirement match at some point. But you want to be the leader? Okay. You want to be? We'll do a mask versus hair match, and the winner gets to become the leader of the LWO.
And you do it in Mexico. So that'll get
Yeah,
that international buy. Another huge market. You can factor in AAA and do a bunch of other things. Conan could be involved. I mean, you could really do this up and make it work and have a lot of guest appearances in it. It could be a lumberjack match with shoot, oh man, La Parca and whoever else is still alive from those WCW days, El Dandy. I think we lost Silver King, but I think we still have Ciclope and Billy Kidman could be
the
there.
original.
Yeah. You talked about Juventud.
There's a
Yep.
new Psychosis, but the original Psychosis is still out there,
Yeah.
and
And even Chris Jericho can show up.
they can
Cut
bring in, and they could even bring in Sam Adonis.
the-
Sam Adonis, for those that don't know, is Corey Graves' brother, who is
Mhm.
in AAA and is
Yep.
doing very well.
You
He's
could
like
bring in
their
Amazing Red.
he's like their
Uh,
main green in the
yep.
AAA right now. So yeah,
Now you could make it something. So that could be an idea as well. Hopefully they'll take all that and do it. One of the two ideas that we just fleshed out and make it so. But this has some fun opportunities with it. If nothing else, some major T-shirt and revenue sales from the LWO. Who wouldn't want a
yeah,
LWO T-shirt?
they're doing a lot more with that one than WCW did because they got the Mexican version, Puerto Rican version, the Dominican version.
Oh yeah,
They got all kinds of they can do all kinds of versions with that LWO.
oh yeah. They work in those color schemes. So after that, we had the six man. Um, it wasn't even about Sami Zayn at this point. This was all about Solo, the Usos, and Roman's wishes. That's the whole story that was being told in that one. But it's still being stretched out. So I guess we're far away from the ending to this story, and they could give it to us in a form of the Usos being kicked out. It could be all a work, and the Usos are in, and they're just trying to suck people in. But then let Sammy continue to get his guard down, and then boom, it is the ones along with Roman, and then 100% in unison, and they get the belts back. So the Usos and Solo winning expected since they
Yeah,
lost the tag opportunity again expected. So I'm cool with the win. I thought Solo did a heck of a good job this time playing the guy. He's come a long way as he's been having his solo matches. And then in this match, I mean, his storytelling, his facials, I mean, he was right on point for exactly what he needed to do to make you believe that him and the Usos had a rift. Jay, man, was the star of the night in that match. He made you believe that, dude, what are you doing? We brothers for real. Tell him again, Jay, we brothers for real. We ain't got time for this. And then Jimmy just smiling the whole time. So, I mean, you know, that part of that match I enjoyed. The rest of it, like whatever. Riddle looked good. Sammy looked good. He was way over, and KO was KO. But I
Well,
don't know.
everybody knows that El Generico was in Puerto Rico for a good while. So when he was in it was when he was in the Independence. So
Yep.
and his style was more of a lucha libre style as El Generico, and then the fact that he spoke Spanish as El Generico and was the soccer guy. So yeah, he kind of gravitated toward the Puerto Rican crowd. So yeah, that was expected. Now I expected that.
Yeah. So no complaints there. And then we had the main event. It went down in the best way that it could go down, in my opinion. Brock was still a beast. Cody survived. That's the best way you could put it. And that's exactly what they gave.
Yeah,
Now,
that
the
ending though.
execution of the finish.
Yeah, the
Could have,
reason for the finish.
well, Cody should have did a complete flip over and been over while the hold was being in, so that way it was visually better. So then Brock would be
Didn't help.
down. Sit again?
Fast count didn't help either.
No. So that was my only gripe with the finish is that Cody should have flipped completely over, and then it would have been as many times we've seen that finish. It would have been a little bit more believable.
And then my question is, did they end that way because of the blood?
No,
I know
because
WWE has this thing up against blood in their matches, but I mean, you're in
you're
Puerto
doing
Rico.
you're doing an exposed
Puerto
turnbuckle.
Rico. You didn't have blood. You didn't have any blood. You had a little bit of blood in the hardcore match with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. You had a
Mhm.
little nosebleed. No, nothing major. But then you're in Puerto Rico. I mean, the place that pretty much invented hardcore wrestling. So why wouldn't you have any blood at least one match?
Right.
And and then for them to set it up like that so that Brock would get some color with the turnbuckle pad coming off.
Hmm.
I had to actually look and see if it was either the turnbuckle or Brock gigging himself, because when he put his hand up against his head after he hit and it just started gushing after that, I didn't know if he had gigged himself or not, but he
I
didn't
think
do
he
he
hit.
didn't do enough, in my opinion, to get
Oh,
that much of a gig in himself to cause that. So
yeah,
it was,
that was the hard way.
yeah, he got it the hard way. But for them to end that, if they ended that match because of the blood, that was some bullshit.
But you saw they threw that towel in real quick for him to clean himself up.
Yeah, just like when he did the F5, he always does the F5 to the hard camera. He did the F5 away from the hard because of
Right.
the blood. And then while they were showing the picture in picture, they gave him the towel and kind of let him wipe himself off or whatever. And then they gave him the towel back at the end so they could get the close-up shots of him at the end of the match to go black, to go dark. So, I mean, like I said, the end of the match was kind of ruined that for me.
Yeah.
I would have, like I said, I would have preferred that the Bad Bunny Damian Priest match be the last match, because that would have sent the whole crowd out in something that they would have liked and would have enjoyed and would have been able to get into, especially with all the with the surprise entrance of Carlito and Savio Vega being involved and whatnot. Uh, this shouldn't have been the main event, in my opinion. And I said that from the start. But
Yep.
I was more convinced once the match happened. I was like, yeah, this is a disappointing way to end it.
Would you have rather it be a quick in and out, like how would you?
Like a squash match, like with Cena.
Not a squash match because Cody would have to win, but like something extra stupid to where I know it sounds bad, but a poke to the eye and a leg trip, or just something extra sly, and then you have Cody getting a quick count.
I like you said, I don't really mind the way it went down. It was the execution of it. Like
Right.
you said,
I mean,
it for
deliberately.
Cody to survive the match was fine because that's what probably needed to happen. That protects Brock, and then that gives Cody the win like he needs to have.
Right.
The execution of it was what was disappointing.
Yeah.
But again, still, regardless of all of that, that should have been semi-main.
hmm Especially considering that we know it's going to play up to another match. The
Right.
Bad Bunny Damian Priest thing, we're not going to see Bad Bunny for some time. He may show back up. Would you be mad if Bad Bunny won a championship? If he was the new age David Arquette with better skills?
I don't know.
Or would you be mad if he was in the final four of the Royal Rumble? Not win it, but just in the final four.
No, I wouldn't mind him being in the final four of a Royal Rumble. I wouldn't mind that. Depending on who he was in with, I wouldn't mind him being final two. But for him to have, well, let's put it this way: if he were to get like the United States title,
hmm
and they wanted to kind of push, kind of like what New Japan does, when New Japan wants to push a belt, they'll move a belt to the side in order to make room for that belt to get more exposure.
Actually, I tell you
Like
what, pull him out of the WWE proper and put him in NXT, and he goes to the North American.
that, I can see. I can see that.
And
I can
that
see
way,
him being North American champion or even NXT champion.
for about
But
a 4 month
main
program.
roster, on the main roster, no.
Okay. I'm just curious because, with a lot of call ups, Braun Breaker somewhere in the atmosphere, who knows what's going to happen with that.
Or
NXT needs something.
they bring back a title and give him a title. Like bring back the 24/7 belt
Oh, God.
and give it to
Well,
him, or
apparently,
or
apparently Reggie is coming back to himself instead of
right because they
being,
been masked last week. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
So,
or bring back maybe or since they're trying to do so much with overseas, bring back the European title and let him
well,
have that,
but they got rid of
and then
HBK.
go on tour with it. That
Oh,
promotes the
yeah.
W well, just like what the NWA is doing with Tyrus. Tyrus is on that
Boston
Gutfield
Friends or whatever show. Yeah.
on CNBC, and every time he's on the show, he has the NWA belt with him.
hmm
So yeah, he goes, he give him the European belt and bring back the European belt, let him win it, and then he just goes on tour with it. And he just be on stage with the belt on, just
Yeah.
doing his shows and whatnot.
I can see that. That was just a stray thought. Like I said, we only have two people that, for the most part, are outsiders coming in. Him and Logan Paul. Logan Paul is limited just because too much of him would be super annoying. But Bad Bunny is good for business.
Or how about Logan Paul and Bad Bunny?
Definitely not the last two of the Rumble because Bad Bunny's got to go
Oh,
over.
with the Rumble, but just give them a match.
Yeah, under the right storytelling, like they have
Yeah.
to cross paths and really have to be something. But I'd say in that Logan Paul would really have to turn uber heel because he's going to have to lead that charge for weeks, and then Bad Bunny pops in and responds to it. Kind of like almost akin to the Batista thing, where Logan's just calling him out, calling him out, calling him out. Give me what I want. Give me what I want, and then finally it happens. That type of thing.
Or they do the Undertaker Brock thing. Logan Paul goes to a Bad Bunny show,
Yeah.
and Bad Bunny goes down to the crowd and is singing to the crowd in the front row, and Logan Paul is there, and Logan Paul actually grabs him.
Then
He
he
gets a hook
quits, and then,
and whatnot, and that turns into something. And
yeah.
security got to break up, and then they make a thing out of that.
Yeah, under the right circumstances, it would make sense. Could that be a card on at WrestleMania? Yeah. A main event, no. But a WrestleMania match that they can
Yeah,
vignette it
yeah.
up.
It's one of those undercards, one of those fourth, fifth match in on a WrestleMania card.
But again, if they were still within the confines of NXT, and he was a North American or some other championship through NXT, that would put a little bit more texture to it. And then, it would give another layer because Logan Paul's whole thing would be, first of all, what makes you think you're better than me? What makes you think you can go into NXT and win a championship? They just gave you that. I'm going to take it from you, chip on your shoulder type of thing. And then, it's not shaking the foundation of the WWE, as Triple H would say, but at the same time, it's putting more attention on NXT, getting the viewership up. They can use that to leverage for whatever else they're doing, considering that AEW is about to do a Saturday show. So, you
Oh,
know,
that whole weekend is gonna be crazy. Have you noticed that?
yeah.
Friday night, I think that's the 26th.
Hmm.
It's going to be Impact Under Siege,
Hmm.
and they may go ahead and have the AEW Collision show starting up by that time. So that's going to start on Saturday. So you'll have Friday night will be SmackDown, Rampage going up against Impact Under Siege.
Yep.
Then Saturday you got the WWE in Saudi Arabia that
That'll
afternoon,
be early in the
and
day.
started by then.
Right.
So that would be Saturday night. And then Sunday, you got NXT's Battleground going up against AEW's Double or Nothing.
Hmm.
That's a crazy weekend.
Yep. You couldn't make that if you tried, but all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. It's good. It's
Also,
good for us.
WrestleMania weekend right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's good for us, the fans, but they actually it's even better for us because they've got a position and everybody's got to put the right show together to get the right market share. And everybody's trying to take the eyes off of WWE. So, Roman is going to have a huge component in this. Um, whomever is going to win this world championship match or be in the finals is going to have to make sense and be extremely believable and watchable and must see. And then the rest of the card has got to fill its way out. And NXT is going to need, some extra, and they're going to have to go to the takeovers of old in order to be even respectable part of that weekend. So, that means
I'm
they have to have some
for,
special people.
for AEW for AEW to sell 60,000 tickets to an event that they didn't even take. They didn't even start out with half of Wembley Stadium. They all they when they showed the seating chart for
Yep.
that when the tickets first came out, I don't even think they had a third of that stadium.
Mm-mm. I was scared. I'm like, I hope that's not all they're doing because sometimes they just tarp off and cut it, shoot it a different way. But I'm like, oh, thank God they're opening it up. But that's all
Well, they got
WWE's fault.
1,000 seats. How many seats? What's
What is that?
capacity of Wembley Stadium?
Isn't it 80?
I
60
think it's like
comfortable, but I believe 80.
it's like
WWE can
80.
do 80. But they're Tony Khan is smart. WWE pulled out and they're filling the void. We know the UK fans, they want it. And then, that's also going to get, this is where finally the Bullet Club is going to be able to shine possibly and have a little bit extra um, insertion in the AEW. Kenny Omega is finally going to be able to do Kenny Omega based off of where they'll be. The Young Bucks are actually going to be there and able to do something and get the shine that they used to have. So it's really a show catered towards the EVPs. Maybe the video game will be out by then. Who knows? To help support that. And then, I don't know, CM Punk's coming back.
And if they were smart, they probably want to get if they were smart, they would get Will Ospreay involved in there somewhere.
Yep. It needs to be a star-studded affair. They got one and done with this one. Because if they can prove that they can sell out Wembley, and I'm not even just talking about inside, I'm talking about outside for tailgating, everything. If they can sell out that, then there's no reason why they can't sell out stadiums from now on for their major pay-per-views.
I don't know what match they're going to have for Kenny, but I would put him and Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Championship on that card. Absolutely. That's just me.
I would too. Must see. Everything has to be must see. That'll have to be Sting's retirement match. That way you get the nostalgia piece in there. We know MJF and whomever is going to be a part of it. So, you got that match in there. And then if I was Tony, I would make a call to myself like 2 years ago when I was thinking, hey, let me go ahead and start taking these homegrown people and putting them over. Let's go ahead and get Wardlow back into the mix again. Kind of buried him. Let's get Powerhouse Hobbs back into the mix again. People like that start really making things go forward. Figure out what Jericho's going to do and make sure he's doing his thing. Sammy Guevara, hey, guy, I was putting a belt on you for a while. Let's get you back out there. He's going to have to go back to AEW 1.0. And if he could take that magic and put all that together with, some top-tier talent, sky's the limit. WWE will be scared at that point. Because
plus, you got Jay, who's English, who's got this title. So you involve her, give her a really big match.
Yep.
Probably get somebody else that's British, I would say, or somebody have Britt Baker turn on her, or
no, have like to go up against Jade
and unify the belts, maybe, or you just get a shot.
Yeah, that'd be the only logistical thing, to get that superstar power. Like they're really gonna have to go all out with this one, pun intended.
No, I wouldn't necessarily put Jade in there, because Jade would be able to come in and get with somebody local, somebody that's really over in the UK, and then and have her in a match for the TNT title, kind of like what they did with Ty Valkyrie.
Don't talk about that. I was good all the way up to the finish. I didn't mind Jade winning, but man, that is the worst finish I have seen. That still beats out what we saw tonight. It made no visual sense. I understand what they were trying to do, but it's the execution.
Execution, because they had the caveat. See, first of all, they didn't push the caveat that Ty Valkyrie couldn't use her finish.
Exactly.
They did that. That's the fact. And I didn't realize it until after the fact. So, because I didn't realize that was a condition in the match that she couldn't use her finish, because they both used the same finish.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now Taya does have some submissions that she could have used, but she was pushing the match like she was going to use the finish. So it was, like you said, it was just execution. It was just the execution that made that match bad.
It's not in the way of AEW. It's not. They keep doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
and that's what makes them really look
that was a condition of the match. Then it would have made more sense to everybody that that's what happened. That was what's going to happen, and then you could have done it, and it would have been all right. But the fact that it wasn't made clear that that was the case, and the way that they pulled it off, it was kind of it made it seem like a botch.
Yep. And all they needed at the beginning of the show was a contract signing for the addendum to make sure that there's legality preventing her. Should she use the move, then you will be sued, or you will have to pay this amount in fines, or you'll have to leave AEW, whatever. That way, everybody understands. So when she hesitated, oh, that's right, she can't use the move. Dang it, Jay took advantage. At that point,
Right.
no issues at all. We'd have been good. But when I
Exactly.
looked at it, I'm like, what the flim flam is this? And immediately I'm done. And, unfortunately, Jade, in my opinion, takes the brunt of it because you shouldn't have won that match if you're looking at it and the vanilla of it. So that's what I'm saying. We need.
Luckily, somebody had the sense of mind to hire this new guy, Will Washington.
Hmm.
Have you heard about him?
Yeah, I saw him and his All Elite posting.
Yeah. For those that don't know, he's a major podcaster with on YouTube and whatnot, and he's pretty much AEW centric. So he's pretty much only talks about AEW in his podcast. And they hired him as to kind of take care of continuity issues like that and help with storylines.
So
So
kind of like what we doing, they taking it from us for free.
right, pretty much. I'd have taken that contract. You could have made me AEW All Elite.
And any one of us three could have, solved their issues quickly. It's not that hard. We just, need our guy Tony Khan to get out of his own way, make the right decisions, make the right calls. 60-0, good. I wouldn't mind her getting to 59-0, and then that person is somebody that actually beats her, and it could be a no-name person like or Willow Nightingale, because if they give it to Red Velvet, I would just break my TV, you know. But because she's destroyed
Willow
her.
Knight was not a no name person. Take that back.
No, what I was saying no name initially, but then I thought about it. You could do somebody like Willow Nightingale, who size wise is there, in reference to stature, so it could be believable, not some little skinny twig thing that Jay can just destroy in 30 seconds. But Willow just gets the one up, and then that puts a whole nother level that takes her to MJF level because now she is mad because she never got to 60. 59 is where it ended. And you
Right.
took that from me. And then, man, two MJFs on one show, you wouldn't even think and compare her to Bianca anymore. She would be on her own stratosphere. But, knowing Tony Khan, she'll be 65-0 sooner than we know.
Yeah, with all these squash matches she's doing with all these local folks that they keep bringing in. Yeah.
It's like, hey, didn't Eric Bischoff make the call to you and say the biggest issue I had with Goldberg is, not the fact that he didn't know how to wrestle, but the fact that we ended the streak, we let the streak go on too long and ended it the wrong way. And she's in jeopardy of that because now it's diminishing the title.
Especially being that she's only the only one that's held it.
Yep. And the fact that she's having vignettes where she's walking by a Britt Baker or a Saraya or anybody. You walking by the people, you're seeing them at the events, but yet there is no friction. There's no acknowledgement of I'm coming for you. It's just, hey, what's up, girl? And I'm mad that unfortunately Impact got Trinity, because that would be the believable loss right there. But unfortunately, different brand, not happening. So I don't know.
It
But you want
could.
to hire us?
Good. You don't know what kind of contract Trinity has, and if she's been talking to Mercedes Monet, I'm sure they've been taking notes and making pulling off some click type discussions. Girl, you need to have this in your contract, or you need to tell them that this is what you want to do, or you don't want to necessarily be exclusive to Impact, but you want to be able to move around some. If you go to the independents, maybe come to Japan with me for a little while. That type thing. Get
Or
him a
Tony
get
Khan
get
could play
him
nice
a
night
con.
and open the forbidden door again.
Well, Forbidden Doors coming up. You never know. You
But
never
again,
know.
Jay would have to lose, and then the belt could travel. Be good for both brands, especially since Ring of Honor is just sell it.
Nah, but I mean, yeah, I don't know if you've been watching Ring of Honor, but they turning funny face into a damn beast right now.
Yeah, but what do they? We still don't have the one thing Ring of Honor needs, and really all it needs is the streaming. And I'm not talking about a Peacock level, just YouTube show that's airing the matches. That's all you need.
Well, they're trying to push on the Honor Club, so they got all the shows on the Honor Club.
Yeah,
They're
but
trying to
they're not.
push that. They're trying to make money off of it.
You could monetize it, but at least in order for it to be a viable thing to monetize, you kind of need to get it out in front of everybody. Women of Wrestling,
True.
I see more on the weekends than I will see some Ring of Honor, and that's not the best. There's something, You said, have you seen that before? Women of Wrestling, it's
I'm
got
still
AJ
trying
Lee's commentary. She's involved in it.
to hear. I haven't been able to find. I've been kind of catching up, keeping up with it through Instagram because
Yeah,
that Tongan group they got going on. I'm liking them.
yeah, they've got some spots in it. AJ Lee is doing commentary. I'm waiting for CM Punk to walk by there and pay a visit. Who knows? He may walk by and stop by the White House or something. Just go check out and say hi to people. Say he was a runner-up. Oh shoot, I didn't know that. Did you know that, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I knew that. I
We
knew
already
that.
talked about the cattle prod of doom. Dumbest decision ever.
Well, I mean, Kevin Nash had the book at that time. He denies it to his heart that he didn't book it. That it wasn't meant to be booked that way, but he was the booker,
Yep.
and he made the decision on that.
Hmm.
And then for Goldberg to be like, "Well, I really want him to use the cattle prod," they didn't want to use the cattle prod for real. They put that tape on the front of it and wouldn't turn it on. I wanted him to
Yeah.
really say,
And then you'd be mad, like, hey, you really know how Bret Hart feels, buddy. Because the way Scott Hall went in, like, yeah, that'd have been an issue. That'd have been a one and
"Yeah,
done.
for real." And Scott Hall had put that emphasis in it like that. Woo,
Yeah,
that boy would have been fried.
one and done. So I don't know, but good show,
Kind of
sir.
like, kind of like when Steamboat told Jake the Snake, "Yeah, go ahead and give me the DDT on the concrete floor. Why not?
Yeah,
It look
I'll take
good. I can take it." 3 days later in the hospital.
it. Yep. Like, well, that was concrete. I guess that was real. Like, yeah, it's not gimmick. It's concrete.
Yeah, we couldn't put a crack in the foundation for you before it happened.
Yeah,
We couldn't
yeah.
get the cement floor for you.
But I bet your brain is enjoying that swelling right now. How about that? At least Jake made sure that the snake was devenomized before that cobra bit Macho. So, we give him credit for that one. But still. So, good show. We covered a lot. Backlashes in the books. Now we're moving forward. We're going to see exactly how I still wish, and I know it'll never happen, that these daggone drafts aren't storyline driven. I'd rather it be a true lethal lottery and people really being pulled out and go wherever they may be. But we'll see exactly how things start to play out on Monday. We'll really probably know who's going to win this World Heavyweight Championship match this upcoming week based off of what the bracket's going to look like.
Right.
So unless there's a swerve in there and Roman gets in and becomes the finalist, yeah, we pretty much know how this is going to go. So we can already make account for Cody being in. I wouldn't be surprised if Theory's in. I wouldn't be surprised if Lashley's in, Gunther's in, and Shinsuke Nakamura's in, and The Miz and Seth Rollins. That's at least seven people right there. Um,
They can't do but so much with these because they only got two shows. Well,
they got
three.
yeah, about
They
to
got
say they got
three shows. They got three shows between now and Saudi Arabia each.
but you're going to do in 3 hours. You could do three matches on Monday, two matches on Friday, three matches the following Monday. I mean, it could be done. You know, it's not the first time we've seen a tournament happen in 3 hours.
Yeah, it could be like eight people in it. I could see 8 people in it.
But
They could do four,
also,
like you said, 4 matches the first week, 2 matches the second week, the finals to determine who goes to Saudi
yeah.
that last week.
And then you also have the NXT Women's Championship tournament, and then probably a tournament for the NXT Tag Team Championship. So this is your worst nightmare. Tournaments everywhere. Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah,
As soon as I saw those call ups, I'm like, oh, James is going to be pissed. There's going to be a
necessary,
lot of tournaments.
but yeah,
Just bring
but I
it.
guess
Actually,
it's
I
a
think
good
that's
term
even.
to
Bring the
do pull a
belts.
trigger. They should just give somebody the belt.
Or lose the belt to somebody, you know, that challenge it. But when Caden Carter and was it Katana Sky, whatever her name is, Casey Catanzaro challenge
Yeah,
for it and then get called up, I'm like, that makes no sense. It doesn't matter if
no,
they win it; you still have the same problem. But you know,
unless they hold them and make them defend it, and then they lose it.
right? I'm with that, so they'll have to go
Makes
back.
that makes a transitional type thing, and
Yeah,
ain't none of them really gonna be doing nothing no time soon anyway. They probably you're gonna see a lot of ascension, authors of pain type stuff going on. They're gonna build them up, NXT, get them, give them a name in NXT, and then you never hear from them again once they get into the
right.
main roster.
But I will say the one good thing about the women that were called up, this gives the WWE more balance to the division because now Zelina Vega can wrestle all these women because they're about the same size. Alexa Bliss comes back, she's got people to wrestle. They're all about the same size. You're going to have your one offs, your Rhea and your Charlotte, but everybody else, and Bianca, but everybody else outside of those three are all relatively in that 5 foot to 5'2" height. Makes the match
Except for
better.
Indy, except for Indy Hartwell.
Oh, that's right. Indy. Oh, sorry. That's four then. That's four.
But then they're talking about putting the way back together too.
I wouldn't be mad.
So
Well,
that's going to be another meet and three faction
yeah.
going on because it's going to be Gargano, his wife, Indy
And Indy
Hartwell, and
Dexter Loomis.
Dexter Loomis.
But again, Candice LeRae and Indy, well, Candice LeRae, same height. So, you know, you've got a lot of balance to that, which I'm cool with. We've asked for that for a while. So that way the EOs, if she breaks off, can actually have a great match with somebody and it becomes believable. You know, you don't have the big person dumbing down all the time. Bianca could take a break, take a vacation, come back. Charlotte's proved that you could do that, come back, win the belt. Bailey is a little bit taller, but pretty much in the same boat, so she's safe. Um, and then Indy's cutting her chops, so she's going to go against some people, and you know, it's just going to be a better division now. So I'm cool with that. If they dissolve some of the tag teams to just make them individuals, even oh gosh, I'm mad that they put her with the Bullet Club with AJ Styles. What do they call themselves? The Good Brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
me and him. Like she shouldn't even be. You're not Bullet Club. How do they throw you in a faction for Bullet Club people and you're not Bullet Club? But that gives us some people to wrestle.
well, they're Bullet Club adjacent.
Extra Jason. Extra. Extra Jason. And then one last thing, and then we're gonna wrap this up, B. For real. Please tell me that you are as pissed as I am. I would rather him be called Bearcat than look like Father Time Keith Lee.
It's a different look. I kind of
Listen,
like it.
James.
I mean,
Go ahead and go, man.
you gotta read yourself sometimes. And I mean,
You shave the face, but you look like you just added 10 years on you. But your body is young. It does not make sense. And then how do you come? What's going to be the catalyst for you to go gray again? I mean, go back to coloring it again.
well, that's the thing. He didn't want to color it again.
Then shave
He
it.
says he didn't like the fact that he had to color his beard and whatnot. So that's why he did it. And color his hair. So he didn't want to do that. So I mean, Macho
Shave,
Man did it.
shave the face. You can have the salt and pepper hair, but the tube is too much gray for what we're doing and what he's doing as a profession at this juncture. He's too young. I think it's taken away. Uh, if Jim Ross had some say, I guarantee he would tell him to shave that face. If
I'm sure.
Jim Cornette would tell him to shave the face.
Oh, Jim Cornette has definitely said that he needs to shave.
That's your moneymaker, and you're cutting out of it's now. It'll look good on the black T-shirt because they don't have to silk screen a picture. They could just airbrush it and it'll pop. But outside of that, no, it looks horrible. That's just me. It popped in my head to ask because I forgot about that the last time. But I
Well, I,
can't.
I,
I can't.
I kind of like I kind of like it though. You know,
He's
it's
not Keith Lee.
different.
He's
It's
not
it's
Keith Lee.
different.
Yeah, it's
It's
different.
different. I kind of I kind of like it. It's a little different. You know, nobody's really done it like that before. You know, he kind of stands out
He
in my
already
opinion.
stands out, James. He's already stand. He don't need the stand out part. He's good on that. Shoot, his size and his athletic ability tells us this dude is killing it. But
Yeah, but he's in a tag team with Dustin Rhodes,
yeah, that's a
and they're
whole
not
nother.
with him. I mean, why not put him in a major storyline, and I'm sure you'll see the gray beard go away.
Yeah, let's get him in a accident of some kind, and then he gets Tourette's.
He can do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe his contract will expire and he'll go back home, and we get his original theme song to the
Wow,
main
you'll never
roster.
hear that again for sure.
Why not?
It would be nice to have that one, but it's not gonna happen.
Why not? If Triple H is running it. Look,
If that were
why?
the case, he kept him when he was still in
It wasn't his
WWE.
call. He didn't have no power.
Triple H was still running shit.
No, Triple H wasn't running. He was doing what Vince told him to do. And we talked about it. Vince was running NXT at that point, and the main
No, he
roster.
got the theme changed once he got to the main card.
Right. And who made that call? Vince.
Vince, yeah.
Yeah. Now that Vince is no longer in power, who can make the call again? Shoot, if
Who
Triple
says
H
Vince?
brought back Hit Row, you telling me we can't get bask in our glory? If we got Hit Row, we could get bask in our glory. And it's nothing
Well, you
against
don't
Hit Row, but I
think
still
so.
don't understand what the heck B Fab is doing. Now, I've seen her maybe wrestle 5 times. For real.
She's more of a valet than she is a wrestler.
Now, we need to establish that. For real. But, That's a
Plus,
whole.
ain't either one of them worth. About those three and a dollar might get you a cup of coffee.
Well, if we pull Ashanti the Adonis out, he's got some potential.
Yeah, but they don't have 205 live anymore.
And top dollar, if we have him go away for a while and get repackaged and come back, we got a shot. I mean, he's doing the work weight wise and size wise.
He
So
needs to
he,
stop trying to be a damn high flyer. That
well,
over the top stuff is not his gimmick. It's not.
well,
That's not what he needs to be doing. So he needs to practice it some more. One of the two.
yeah, he needs to go train with Natty in the dungeon. Natty and TJ, let them work that out. So, well, it was good shucking jiving with you. It's late. It's 1 o'clock. We cleared about an hour, almost an hour and a half. So I know the boss will be happy. So anything else you got that you want to add to the folks before we tap this puppy out?
No, nothing really, other than Best of the Super Juniors is coming up in New Japan, so be aware of that. Mike Bailey is going to be a part of it this year, so that should make things interesting within that tournament. Um, other than that, yeah, everything is. We just wait. I'm just waiting on later on this month with that all those cards that are coming up that weekend, like we talked about earlier.
Yep, super weekend. Get your life together. Get your day off requested. So nothing else said, man. All I gotta say is diversify your motherfucking bonds.
Konnichiwa, bitches.